I think it's 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. Just finished dropping the tyre from the wheel from the Mazda up at Scott's Tyres here at Lonsdale, just to get the new tyre put on after getting a screw through that one. And while I was at it, I've dropped off two of the HSV Pentagon rims that I'm working on at the moment, just to get the tyres stripped off of them, so make it a bit easier to prepare for paint. And the tyres on those were stuffed as well, so may as well get them ripped off and make it a bit easier to paint. So later this morning we'll come back and pick those all up. So just got back from dropping off the tyres, and now it's time to start on these. These are the body mouldings for the side of the Subaru Forester that go just down on the bottom of the two doors there that you can see. And these ones are for the other side. A while ago I painted these in the silver colour they're in now. They were the original grey plastic colour like that before. I was never happy with the actual colour that I laid down on it, and you can see in this one I've got a fair few tiger stripes in the paint because I was having some trouble with the compressor at the time and keeping the pressure at the right rate. So I'm going to sand these down, and this time not rush the job because I did last time and definitely wasn't happy with the outcome. So you can see I never bothered fixing all these little scratches that you can see in the plastic. So this time around we're going to fix all of those, and I'll show you how I do that. And same on this one, see all the scratches there. So it's never going to look ideal. So first step with this is I'll give them a rub down in a fairly reasonable grip, probably like a 240 grip, something like that, just to scuff them up, and then I'll start filling in all those scratches, sand it all smooth, and then give it a once over with a 600 before it's ready for some paint to go on it. So anyway, I'll get stuck into that now and start filming again once I've got a bit more of an update. Alright, just finished wet sanding with a 240 grit just to take off, scuff it up a bit, get it ready for some paint to go down. Also to smooth out some of those scratches that I showed you before. So what I've done now is just put in a two-part fine filling putty and pushed it really hard to try and get it into all those little tiny scratches, stuff that you can see there. So I did that on both of them. We're just waiting on it to just set now. So once it sets, then I can sand again for what feels like the millionth time in the last couple of weeks of just sanding. So the putty that I use is a U-pole two-part putty, really good for just filling those real fine scratches. This one's an older one, Hot Shot. I don't think they sell that one anymore, but you can get plenty of similar stuff. And unfortunately I've wasted a fair bit. I got a bit excited when I was mixing it up, so that'll all go in the bin after. So this should set within sort of 15 minutes or so, and then we can come back and wet sand again with 240, get nice and smooth, and I could check for more scratches again, see what's left. Depending how many are left will then depend whether I re-putty again, or if I think I can just fill it with a primer filler after that. So should be able to just fill it with a primer filler. This putty should get into any of the deeper ones. So yeah, anyway, we'll give you another update once we get through this part. So just got back from Scott's Tyres, picking up the new tyre to replace the punctured one. So that's all done. Got these other two wheels just stripped of their tyres, which is the HSV Pentagon ones I'm restoring. So that'll make that easier to get those painted. So next job is to essentially change over that one. But I'll do a tyre rotation, put a brand new tyre on the front, and put the older one on the back. Anyway, we'll get stuck into that one now. And while I've been up doing that, I've managed to, the putty should be dry on the other parts I'm working on, so hopefully once I've changed these wheels over I can get back into actually putting the sand in the putty again, and there's the old tyres that I got stripped. If anyone's keen on a couple of worn out tyres, happily have them taken away. Thanks. Alright, I think we're about 9:30 now, Saturday morning, maybe a bit after, and the tyres are done. So we've got the brand new rapid tyre on the front, replacing the punctured tyre that got a screw in it from the rear. So a little while ago I had another unfortunate puncture in the front side of this one, so because these tyres are now on the back, so rotate it, just take it for a quick drive around, make sure that it's not making any odd noises or anything like that. Make sure I did up the wheel nuts properly, and then come back and sanding back on those side body mouldings of the Forester. So anyway, let's see how much we can get done. So just finished wet sanding these body mouldings now to get all the putty down smooth. You can see where all the putty's filled in, the little cracks, all those little bits of yellow there, where they filled in, so not the cracks, all the little scratches and stuff. They would have been stone chips from someone having a good time on a dirt road or something like that. So most of those are filled now, but what I tend to do is, to help me find any that are left over, it's just a paper towel, wipe it over, gives it that shiny look again, and gets some of the dust and dirt off at the same time. And then it helps highlight any of the still problem spots that might need a bit of putty on them still. So once I've given it a wipe over, you can start to see some of them, like just in here. Let's see if I can get my camera right. A scratch there that still needs to be filled. So then grab a texter and just start marking out anything that's really obvious that I can see. So that one there, make sure we fill that up. There's a few over here, just a bit of scratching. These ones aren't too bad, but you'll fill them in. That one needs doing. And just there too. Got to be a bit careful with the thinners, because this is an acrylic paint on these ones, and so you don't want to put too much thinners on, because it'll smear the coat. So that's probably pretty good on that one. So I've got a few more spots to fill, so we'll just go grab the other one and do the same thing. So same thing, still got some thinners on the paper towel. Got a wipe over, clean off all the sanding shit, excuse the French. And you start to see there's still some marks in the paint that will need some filling if I want it to actually look good. Again, same old deal with painting. It's always, the key is just the preparation to make sure you got your surface all smooth and ready for the top coat. So grab that texture again and start marking out some of these that need repair to them still. The texture will just sand off anyway. Just helps when you're putting the putty down to remind you where all your little marks are. Oh, we've got a friend coming to check out what's going on, if we can catch him. Where are you? There you go. Oh, wants to know what all the red's about. One of the hazards of working outside in the weather is dealing with bugs and that. If I ever get around to cleaning the shed out, I might have a nicer spot to work, but like most things, just a lack of time and too many things to keep me occupied. But one day I'll get to it. Probably when I start working on that VS Commodore Ute we got in there as well. So I'm hoping what'll happen is I'll finish off this Subaru, I won't get too excited and buy another car, and then I'll start on that ute. Because the problem I've got is I see too many bargains that I just need to buy. Alright, anyway, I'll start getting the putty ready, and we'll start puttying up all those little marks, and then back to wet sanding again with the 240 grit to get it smooth. So not too far off. The main bit will be just waiting for this next lot of putty to dry. So there we have it, we've got the putty all down, and we're just about ready to sand again. Just going to give that 15 or 20 minutes to dry off, so hopefully not too much longer. I'll be able to get that all smooth. Had a bit of extra putty that I mixed up, so I just went over all these main area where the stone chips are again, just to see if I can fill any more of those cracks up. But I reckon this will be the last bit of putty. Sand it down again with the 240 wet, and then a 600 wet, and then it'll be ready for some primer filler. And by the time I do that, all the scratches will be done in it, and then we can start thinking about putting the top coat on. Alright, I'll finish wet sanding out all the putty. So now time, I'll just show you quickly, sorry, just you can see all the little marks in it where sanded out. Still not 100% perfect, but a lot better. So we'll put the little bit of plastic primer just over these parts where you can see I've sanded through to the plastic again, just to make sure that the paint that goes on is flexible and that. So I've just finished wiping these down with some wax and grease remover and a acetone, just to make sure they're nice and clean. And then before I spray, I'll just air hose them off as well, make sure there's no dust sitting on them. But next step is just a little bit of plastic primer just from an aerosol over all these little bits, and then time for the primer filler. So just finished laying down the first coat of just a 1K acrylic primer filler. So this will take about an hour or so to dry before I can start wet sanding it again. But it's laid on pretty well, filled some of the scratches. So put one coat on and I'll do a second coat. Just show you quickly what we're up to, so you can now see, hopefully, got pretty good coverage with the one coat. And same again on this one. They're not tiger stripes in that, that's just some lighting from that, lighting on it. So yeah, you can see there's still a few little marks shining through, but I reckon with a second coat of primer filler that'll cover that in. And then we get to wet sand down with a 600 after that, and then once that's sanded with the 600, then we'll be ready for the top coat colour. So we'll get to it, putting the second coat on. Alright, that's the, ended up doing 3 to 4 coats on each of these. Spent a fair bit of time just going over where all the main scratches were along here, so it's hard to see with the shadows, but hopefully you can see most of those scratches are pretty much gone now, so when I lay the top coat on you won't even see any remnants of them. Got a couple of little bits of dust in the paintwork just on the corner there, which will sand out, and just down here as well. Can't avoid that when you're painting open air, so never mind. But overall pretty happy with that, so we'll let them dry now for about an hour, and then come back and wet sand them with a 600, and then we should be right to start laying the paint on. Alright, time for the enjoyable part of actually putting some colour down on these. So I think where I was up to last time was I've now wet sanded with 600. They've come up nice and smooth, just giving them a wipe over with grease and wax remover, and a little bit of, just a tiny hint of acetone just to remove any last bit of dust. So at the moment they're all dust free, so hopefully nothing lands in it. So just a sneak peek of the colour that's going down, so a lot darker than before, so nice sort of gunmetal grey colour, I guess you'd call it. So just mixed up that with 1 part paint, 1.5 paint thinners, acrylic paint. So we'll get spraying and put the first coat down. So first coat down, sorry about the lighting, it's pretty hard to tell in here with dark lighting at the moment, but it's coming out pretty nice. One thin, easy coat. It's gone down a lot darker than the original, and this one here as well. So again, the sunlight's probably not helping things at the moment show up that one, but it's come up pretty good. So we'll give that 10 or 15 minutes and then lay on the second coat. But should be a much nicer colour, a lot happier with that than that light silver that we had on there before. Alright, that's the colour coats done. So 3 coats of the darker metallic grey. Again, sorry, the lighting's really shit in here to be able to see it, but yeah, it's come up with a reasonable shine off the gun. No clear on it yet, so once I have the clear, then you'll really see the colours pop and the metallic come out of it. So looking forward to getting that down. So we'll do 3 coats of a 2K clear over the top. I'll just give this a bit of time to air out, make sure some of the thinners have started airing out of it before I start laying on the clear. I reckon about half an hour or so I'll start spraying down the clear. So clear coat's now laid down. Ended up doing probably 3 to 4 coats of the 2K clear, so it's got a really deep gloss on it now. Hard to see again because the lighting's so terrible in here. I'll probably have to just capture another quick video out in the sun, but it's come up really nice. One very minor run just on the corner there, but that's down the very bottom of the car where no one will ever see it, so not fussed over that. And the rest of it's come up pretty nice. So you can see it's got some good reflection on it. Just need to wait for it to dry a bit more before I can sort of move it out into the sun a bit, but there we go. So not too bad. Sort of finishing up just before 4 o'clock today. Just got to pack up, and then that's probably it for today. So I did do a little bit more tonight. I just ended up sanding down this side spoiler with 240 grit, puttying it up, sanding off the putty, and just got the final little bit of putty on that. So hopefully I'll get that one all done tomorrow and painted. Be great if I could get just the one side finished this weekend, the next side finished next weekend at the Forester, and then hopefully the 2 bumper bars the weekend after or something, so that we can start piecing it all back together. And in between, just been doing a little bit of sanding on that rim as well. So anyway, that's definitely it for tonight, and start again tomorrow morning.